episode of Three Deep South. We're on our Week 8 prediction show, so we're going to be going over the Week 8 games. Seems to be a pretty decent week as far as college football goes. Justin, how was your week, though, man? Let's start off with that.
Man, it wasn't bad. Uh, I had to go to the dentist today. I know on Sunday I kind of told everybody that. So if I'm not the typical, out of left field kind of spastic person that I usually am, and my mouth's still numb, and it's kind of, when you get back from the dentist and like your mouth doesn't hurt, but you just feel uncomfortable. That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what I'm feeling. So, but besides that, man, it's nice. The week was nice. It's starting to feel like college football. You're starting to see leaves fall and the grass is kind of changing that color, and you're just kind of starting to get that smell in the air. Even here in Arkansas, I mean, it's still a little warm, but in the morning times, it's kind of a little brisk outside. Maybe throw on a hoodie and get a cup of coffee or something.
Yeah, it was a pretty good week for me too. Just same old, same old. Going to work. Looking forward to the weekend. Let's kind of get into our first couple games here. Friday, we'll talk about our Friday games real quick. Louisville goes on the road to Miami. This is a Louisville team that they haven't necessarily been world beaters yet, but they've been pretty scrappy. Right now, they're sitting at. Let me get my laptop to work. They're sitting at 4-1. Their only loss is at home to Virginia, 30-27. So I mean, this isn't a game necessarily that I'm expecting Miami to lose, but I do think Louisville, in a sense, can keep this close. I mean, so far Miller Moss hasn't been bad. Jeff Brom's kind of got that team rolling, and they've been able to run the ball. So we'll kind of see. Right now, the spread's sitting at I think 14, 13 and a half. What do you kind of think going into this one, Justin?
I mean, I think this could be. Now, when I say this, I want people to kind of. I'm not saying Miami's going to lose. I just know over the last couple of years, Louisville has been that team that has given Miami problems. I think they gave
Mm-hmm.
them problems last year. Louisville's probably the best team to date that they've played. I mean, honestly, I think they're better than Florida State. I think they're better than Florida, probably. I know they're not ranked, but they're still a good team. And over the last couple of weeks, we've kind of seen Florida State kind of go down a path that they don't look like they used to. They're not the same team that beat Alabama in week one. Um, so I think Miami wins, obviously, but I think with it being on Friday night, it's just kind of a weird week for them. They're coming off of a bye. Some teams struggle coming off byes. Um, I feel like Louisville's probably going to cover the spread, but I don't think they're going to win the game. I think Miami's too good. Offensive line and defensive line, I think. And when I say they're going to cover the spread, I could see if it is 14 and a half, I could see Miami being up like 21 with like 3 minutes left to go in the fourth and Louisville scoring a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's just been a year so far that I mean, you've just seen the unexpected almost every week. So I mean, you just never know. And then another game that's on Friday night. Nebraska goes on the road to Minnesota. So far, for Minnesota, on the Minnesota side of this, they haven't been bad. 4-2. They did lose a Cal and they lost to Ohio State, obviously. But Drake Lindsey's looked good. Their defense hasn't been completely awful. And on the flip side, Nebraska has shown vulnerability. Especially I don't in that Michigan game. It was I don't. It just it felt like that was a game Nebraska really could have won, and then that would have set them up to where they had a shot to really compete in the Big Ten. But now they don't have the toughest schedule going forward. Or I'm looking at Minnesota's schedule. Sorry, like they don't have the Nebraska. That was kind of the big one, and like going forward, kind of gauging that Michigan game was how their season was going to kind of shape up. I mean, right now they are 5-1. They don't play a whole lot of competition, so this is a game that if Nebraska doesn't lose, and then they beat USC down the road, this is a Nebraska team that could wind up in the Big Ten championship, which is really odd. I mean, all you would have to have is Michigan beat Ohio State or Indiana lose somewhere down the road, and then Nebraska's right in that tiebreaker if Nebraska can win this game. But I think this is a sneaky one. I kind of like Minnesota in this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. This is kind of your typical, like, middle tier of the Big Ten to where I could see a world where Minnesota wins this game. It's at Minnesota. Minnesota, I wouldn't say is like some crazy place to play, but it's a night game, and they're going to get up for this game because it's Nebraska. I could see Minnesota winning this game, but I think Matt Rule, with all the circulation around his name with the Penn State job and all that, I think he's really going to try hard to make this game like a statement game for Nebraska. I like Nebraska in this game. I just think their defense is really good, honestly, and I don't think Minnesota can really stack up well against Nebraska's offense. I think it's going to be a close game. I could see Nebraska winning by like 10 points, maybe 14, but probably closer to 10.
And then let's get straight into the Saturday games. 11 a.m. going on in Nashville, Tennessee. The LSU Tigers go on the road to play the Vanderbilt Commodores. Right now, the spread on this game is sitting at Vanderbilt 2.5. And I like that. I honestly think Vanderbilt wins this game by more than 2.5 points. So far, LSU has been unable to score the ball. And even in that loss Vanderbilt had against Alabama, Vanderbilt's defense didn't really just look terrible. They didn't look helpless. And Alabama's a much better offense than LSU is. I think Vanderbilt's going to be able to just kind of control LSU and control Garrett Nussmeier. They're going to be able to get after the passer, and they're going to be able to run the ball. I would honestly take Vanderbilt at 10 points even. I think Vanderbilt's going to win this game, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close.
No, I wish that I could go against you just so we'd have longer talking points on it. I kind of agree. I think LSU is probably the most overrated team that we have this year, really. I mean, I think LSU is ridiculously overrated. Their offense is absolutely awful. Their defense is good. I wouldn't say that they're great. I wouldn't say that they're a top 5 defense in the nation. I mean, you can chalk it up to say, oh, well, they've just been on the field for a long time. Well, at the end of the day, if you're a good enough defense, you should only be playing 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 snaps at a time before you get a break. So, I mean, I think Vanderbilt's going to probably maybe not walk LSU, but I could see them winning by 10 to like 2 scores. I could see them winning by 2 scores. Now that could be 10, that could be 14, that could be somewhere around there. But I think they're gonna make it known that they're definitely the better team. It's not like, oh, well, Vanderbilt got lucky and won this game. No, I think that you're gonna know from the first kickoff, that first drive, whoever gets the ball, I think you're gonna know, okay, Vanderbilt came to play, and LSU doesn't really have anything for Vanderbilt this year.
Well, and what does LSU have to do to win this game? I mean, in my opinion, LSU has to run the ball better. I mean, they have a good running back in Caden Durham, and their offensive line looks capable blocking the run. In my opinion, Garrett Nussmeier has to get the ball out faster. The receivers have to make better plays, and they have to prolong some drives because in that Ole Miss game, the only game we've seen LSU lose, Ole Miss wore out LSU. I mean, it was like by the end of the game, LSU's defense had been on the field for like 3/4 of it. And I do think LSU does have a capable defense, a very good defense. I just think like they're getting wore down to the point that they're not able to make the big stops. So I think for LSU to win this game, you have to be able to stop Diego Pavia on 3rd down. That's something Alabama did really well. They got after Diego Pavia on 3rd down, and they have to be able to limit big plays, and they have to be able to run the ball. That's what I think LSU has to do. I think they can do it. I don't see it happening. I think Vanderbilt is the better team.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's go to the next one. What was that?
No, I was just going to bring up the next game. You're good. Go ahead.
I'm going to say Washington goes on the road to Michigan. That's kind of the next big one I see on here. This is a Washington team to me that has not really proven anything. And so what I mean by that is it's not that they're bad. I don't think they're bad. I just think they haven't beat anyone that you can say, okay, there's a signature win. Okay, Michigan on the flip side, they have beat Nebraska, but they've also fallen short at times. So this is two teams to me that have a lot to prove. Bryce Underwood's been kind of up and down. Last week he didn't look great against USC. So I want to see more consistency out of him in this game. Why can Michigan not run the ball? What's going on with that? I mean, this is genuine. I mean, they just, for how many years now has it just been Michigan ground and pound, control the game, play good defense? I don't even know if their defense is that bad. I really just think they can't run the ball. It's a unique issue. It feels like this year. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't really know because I haven't watched Michigan too much. I just think that their offensive line coach, which was Sharon Moore, he's taken over the team now, and I don't feel like they really could replace him as an O-line coach. I think that's the problem. Now they have played good defenses that were good at stopping the run, but that's no excuse for a team like Michigan to not be able to run the ball at the clip that they haven't been able to run the ball at. Washington, on the other hand, I think Washington's probably I would almost say they're the third best team in the Big Ten. I really do think Washington's that good. I think their quarterback is very Kyler Murray-esque. I mean, he had I think last week he had 500 total yards of offense just by itself, rushing and passing. I mean, he's an absolute video game type player. I don't understand why they're not ranked, honestly. The teams that they've played that they've beat have better win ratings or record, I guess you could say, than a lot of these teams that are ranked, especially the lower tier teams that are ranked. 2-loss teams, 1-loss teams, teams like that. Like, I don't understand how Washington's not ranked, for one. And for two, like I said, I think they're that good. I think they're a top 15 style team. Now, they might slip up. I know this is a big game for Michigan because Sharon Moore. I feel like Sharon Moore is on the hot seat if they lose this game. But I just don't see Michigan stopping. I don't see Michigan stopping Washington at all. I really don't. I think their offense is too good. Ohio State made their offense look very mediocre because of the style of defense that we play and the linebackers that we have. So that's kind of my standpoint on it. I think Washington probably wins by. I think they at least win by 7, personally.
I think I am going to lean Michigan in this game just because I think I trust their defense enough. And I mean, I'm looking at the statistics, and it's not that Michigan isn't running the ball well at all. I mean, they're averaging 6 yards a carry, and they got like 10 touchdowns or 12 touchdowns on the ground or something like that. It's just like they're bad on third down, they're bad on fourth down. And I don't know that Washington's going to pose them a lot of problems in that area, like maybe Nebraska, who had a pretty good defense, and Oklahoma could. I think this is going to be. I think Michigan's going to win this game personally. I just got a feeling on that one, kind of a gut feeling. It just feels like a Michigan win type of game.
Makes sense. I could see that. I'm not like fully sold on Washington. I just think that they're a lot better than a lot of people are giving them credit for.
Okay, here's another big game that's going to happen in the Big 12. Baylor goes on the road and plays TCU. Now, obviously, Baylor been kind of up and down, 4-2. They lost to Arizona State. They lost to Auburn, but they're on a 2-game win streak. They squeaked out a game last week against Kansas State. This is just a team that I don't know what to expect week to week. Like, Sawyer Robertson puts up numbers, but Kansas State has not been good. And Kansas State last week was down their best player, and they still just like have this close game with them. Now they got to go on the road to who I think is one of the more underrated teams in the country, and they got to go play TCU. Going into this game, I think I'm going to lean – I'm so bad at picking the Big 12, by the way. I've been wrong quite a bit. I think I'm leaning TCU in this game, though. It's in Fort Worth. It's a rivalry game. And I just genuinely think TCU's kind of – they're not a team of destiny or anything like they were that one year, but they've showed up and never mind. I lied. They lost to Kansas State. So I don't know what to expect from this game at all, to be honest with you.
I picked Baylor. I picked Baylor as my sleeper team of the year, so I got to ride with Baylor. I like Sawyer Robertson. I think he's, like you said, I mean, if you have that good of a passing offense, your run offense is going to follow. I like their head coach. I know TCU has a good quarterback too. I just think that Baylor's a good enough team to where, yeah, they've had some slip ups, but I think they're probably going to beat TCU. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it could be some crazy like 45-43 game, but I just think Baylor's
Yeah.
going to squeak it out and pull it off.
It probably will be, and it'll probably be a game worth watching because it is it's actually at Baylor too. I guess I was reading things backwards. Yeah, okay. Because I read both of them played Kansas State. I read it as Baylor lost to them, TCU beat them, and then I'm looking at it now, obviously, and I've got that mixed up, and I got where the game's at mixed up. So I think I'm gonna lean Baylor too, just based off the easy thing, common opponent. I think Kansas State is not good, so. Let's go to the next one, though. Let's see.
All right. You may point one out, Mason, that kind of brings I don't know, man. This game kind of makes me think that I think this is the most upset-worthy game of the week, personally. Yeah. I mean, maybe you're seeing something that I'm not. I'm saying I could see Kentucky beating Texas.
We can talk about that, but I wanted to talk about this. This is another weird spread one, but let's go back to that.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Georgia Tech goes on the road to Duke, right? Georgia Tech team that I think's, they are gonna. I feel like they're gonna get a chance to challenge for the for the ACC. They haven't lost a game yet, to my knowledge.
No, they haven't.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking all these questions. Haynes King's not hurt, is he?
No.
Like nothing. Like I don't. What Vegas is doing this weird thing again. Duke's favored at home against Georgia Tech. Like, does Vegas know something I don't? Because Vegas has been right every time they've predicted this. By the way, this weird ranked team goes on the road and is an underdog. Like, is this another one of those situations or?
I mean, Vegas doesn't just throw money around to lose it. I would still lean Georgia Tech because I really like Georgia Tech. I think they're the second best team in the ACC, but I'm not pulling anything up on news, nothing. I'm not seeing anything that would make me say, yeah, pick Duke. I like Georgia Tech. I think their defense is really good, and I think Haynes King's just on a different level. I mean, he's not going to win the Heisman. He's not going to do any of that. But, I mean, dude reminds me of the quarterback from Friday Night Lights, and I will stand by that.
Sorry we switched lanes there. I just saw that, and I was like, wait, what? But, okay, why do you think Kentucky is going to beat Texas?
So, the reason why I think is because Texas is coming off of a big win. And some people can even say that win was kind of fool's gold, I guess. I think Arch Manning looked okay, but I don't think he looked like, oh my gosh, this is what we've been waiting on. He did have some throws that you're like, that's the Arch Manning that everybody thought was going to be here for forever. They're coming off of a big win. It's a night game at Kentucky. It seems like Kentucky gets up for big games. It seems like, they'll lose to South Carolina and they'll lose and have a close game with Toledo. But then Ole Miss, they play really close. And that was a home game. And I don't think it was a night game, but I just feel like Texas kind of got a little bit of fool's gold and they think they're better than what they are. And I think Kentucky's. And I think it's just an upset spot. Personally, yeah. I really think it's an upset spot.
Well, that's what I was going to kind of ask is, like, do you think this is one of those things where, I mean, if they lose to Oklahoma, the wheels are falling off, for the season. And so now they won it. They feel like maybe they salvaged some of the season, and then they got to go to Kroger Field to play what is like, Kentucky or Arkansas is the worst team in the SEC. Now you got to go on the road to what you deem as the worst team in the SEC. This could be an upset spot. My only issue with that is I don't want to give Texas defense too much praise for last week, right? But they did hold Oklahoma to 6 points. Now, John Mateer, there's no way he was healthy. Right?
No.
There's no way he was ready to go. I think they rushed him back. But Texas did, regardless, Texas held them to 6 points. I don't think Kentucky's offense is good enough to score on anyone. I don't think they're good enough to score on Conway High School. I don't think they're good enough to score. I would love to see Kentucky beat them because I hate Texas. I don't know. That's just the only questions I have about it. Now, I hope I get to turn the game on at 6:00 and Kentucky wins. Let's talk about another big one though. Texas Tech goes on the road. Oh wait! I skipped a bunch of games. Let me rewind that. This is a game I was going to kind of talk about. I thought this was going to be a bigger game earlier in the season. Obviously, everyone did. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of people thought
this was a game that me and you talked about going to.
Yeah. Oklahoma goes to South Carolina. Obviously, South Carolina's been kind of disappointing, and Oklahoma's coming off this loss to Texas, which is really disappointing for them. The only reason I want to talk about it is because I want to talk about the Oklahoma bounce back. Now, I don't think South Carolina stands a snowball's chance in hell to win this game. I don't think their offense is good enough. I don't think their defense is good enough. I don't think their defense is physical enough. I think Oklahoma is just going to run the ball. I think they're going to win this game like 21-13 or 21-6 or something. Like, it's going to be a very boring game. But does Oklahoma, moving forward with this season, John Mateer obviously getting healthy, does Oklahoma still kind of have that same allure that they kind of felt like they had before the Red River rivalry? Like, what do we kind of think about Oklahoma now?
I mean, here's my whole thing about it is it's not going to really be tarnished that much because it's always going to be an excuse. Oh, well, John Mateer really wasn't that good. Like, he wasn't 100% healthy. So if he was 100% healthy, who knows what that outcome can be? So I think it's just going to be tarnished, but like people are always going to make excuses for it, for one. And for two, do I think South Carolina is going to win? No. But do I see a world where they do? Yeah. Just like Florida, South Carolina has the athletes to beat teams like this, just like Florida beat Texas. It's the same exact way. I mean, I could see a world where Lenora Seller goes out and throws for 300 yards and rushes for 150 and has 4 total touchdowns. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. I mean, I could see a world where it does happen. I would like for it to happen. I think it would be cool. But do I think that it's going to? I don't know. I mean, my only concern with this game specifically is what if Oklahoma plays like that again on offense? Because, yeah, Texas looked good on defense, but Oklahoma's offense looks stagnant. They looked bad. John Mateer was not the same quarterback. Decision-making, how he ran around in the pocket, what he moved like, it was not anywhere close to being the same. If they show up like that, I could see South Carolina giving them problems. If South Carolina plays their best game, and they very well could. That's what's scary about South Carolina and Florida is if they play their best game, they probably could beat anybody in the country. But it's like the odds of them playing their best game is 5 to 10%.
I just mean like projecting Oklahoma going forward in the season. Oklahoma still has some big games. Let me pull up their schedule real quick. But just like how much, I guess what I'm asking, how much did that loss to you last week mean for Oklahoma going forward? Because Oklahoma for a little bit there in the media was talking about like a shoe-in for, the playoff. I mean, after this game, they got to play Ole Miss at home. They got to go to Tennessee. They got to go to Alabama. They got to host Missouri, and then they got to play LSU at home. I mean, there's a world where Oklahoma doesn't win another game after this week.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of been the argument for everybody all year is Oklahoma's schedule does not set up well for them.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, is John Mateer, is he really like that? Or did he get lucky off of playing mediocre teams? I mean, we already said Michigan, we don't really know what their defense is. And, I mean, do you think Michigan's probably the best team they've played year to date besides Texas? I mean, I would say so. So
yeah.
Even if you – I mean, who else? I think Michigan's better than Auburn by far.
I don't know if it's by far, but I think they're better, yeah.
But even in the Michigan game, he threw for 270 yards, threw for 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and then rushed for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, yeah, that's a good stat line, but that's not like giving him the Heisman already, like everybody was talking about. And then even his second best team that he played, which was Auburn, besides Texas, he had 271 yards and 1 touchdown passing and 29 yards carries.
He did
So
break
is
his
that
thumb in
some?
that game, though.
Yeah. I hear you, but what I'm getting at is like everybody was kind of touting him as like this Heisman winner, and it's like,
Mhm.
how? For what? Because he went crazy against Temple? I mean, okay, but did he even really go crazy against Temple? He had 282 yards, a touchdown, and interception, and then he wasn't even the leading rusher on the team, so he didn't have 100 yards rushing. He had 67 yards rushing, or 63. So it's like, is he already like, oh yeah, he's winning the Heisman? No, he
No.
wasn't. Was he good? Yes, but was he a Lamar Jackson, a Kyler Murray, a Baker Mayfield, like everybody was acting like he was? No.
I just think it's an interesting thing to keep an eye on. I mean, I think they're going to win this game, but just I want to see Mateer get healthy because they got a gauntlet coming up, man. They got one of the hardest stretches I've seen, just in where they got to go and who they are bringing into home. Because I don't think Missouri. I think that Missouri game is going to be. I think it could have implications if Oklahoma can. I don't know. Them losing to Texas was really bad because let's say Oklahoma lost to Ole Miss, went on the road, beat Tennessee, lost to Alabama. You're sitting at 2 losses, and then you have this Missouri game. They should beat LSU. I do feel like, but then you have that Missouri game that could almost be for a playoff spot. Now you lose 2 more games. Missouri might be knocking you into the Liberty Bowl. Um,
Yeah.
so that's just kind of what I was getting at on that one. Let's talk about Ohio State real quick. I'll let you kind of talk about y'all's matchup this week. You go on the road to Camp Randall Stadium. Right now, Ohio State Buckeyes are favored by 25.5 points.
Yeah, there's really nothing. I mean, why Wisconsin's awful. My biggest thing that I want to see from Ohio State is are we gonna I'm trying not to cuss because it's really frustrating. Like, I'm tired and I understand why they're doing it, but I'm so tired of our offense being stagnant just to say like, oh, we're trying not to run so many plays. Like, no, Julian Sain is a good quarterback. We found that out. We know that. He is a very competent, good quarterback. I don't know why they're not pushing the ball down the field and running more routes. Obviously, our run game is struggling. I know we need to work on it, but these are prime spots to where we need to push the ball down the field and we need to work on a run game because we're not losing to Wisconsin. I could see Wisconsin having like maybe 100 yards of total offense, maybe. And on our defensive side, we need to stop telling our defensive ends to cage rush so we don't worry about the quarterback rushing. Our linebackers are absolute freak shows. We don't need to worry about them rushing. Our linebackers will take care of it. This game for me is just like I want to see if we're going to open it up, or is that just something like this is what our offense will be?
It's about time because you're at that halfway point. It's about time to
Yeah,
let it roll.
and Julian Sain can make the throws. I just want to see like, are we going to do that? And this is a good game to do that. I understand not doing it against Washington because that was an away game, his first away game. And Washington could have beat Ohio State if Julian Sain would have thrown 1 or 2 interceptions. But like, I don't see Wisconsin beating us at all. So why don't we go ahead and air it out, see what happens? Let the kid make a mistake if he needs to. And run game, we got to get something figured out on the run game.
Well, because you don't want to go to the big house, not be able to run the ball. You haven't thrown the ball downfield all year with Julian Sayin, and him crap down his legs. You don't want that.
Yeah.
So it's time to open it up for
Nope.
sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this next one. Oh no, not that one. I don't want to talk about it yet. Ole Miss goes to Georgia. Right now the line is Georgia 7.5. 2:30 ABC. I kind of let you take the lead on this one. What do you think going into it?
All right. I'll be honest with you, Mason. This is probably the last game that I'll just really like full blown talk about. My jaw's kind of starting to hurt.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like our buddy Aaron's really gonna like this, but I feel like this game's whoever if Ole Miss is winning at halftime by more than 10 points, you can turn the game off. Ole Miss is winning the game. I think Georgia is probably one of them and LSU are the most two fraudulent teams in not just the SEC, in the nation. Personally, they get behind and then they end up coming back. They don't throw the ball well downfield. They've played decent opponents, but here's the whole thing. They played Alabama. They couldn't come back against Alabama. They made a valiant effort to, but I even think that Ole Miss is better than Alabama is. They came back against Tennessee. Tennessee's missing their top two corners on that team. If they had those two corners, I don't feel like Georgia comes back and beats them.
And I don't think Tennessee's defense is that good. Last week you saw Arkansas again. By the way, 3 turnovers. Arkansas doesn't have those 3 turnovers. Tennessee loses that game. So it's
Yeah,
just, but
and that's what I'm saying. I think Ole Miss is better than Alabama, and I think Ole Miss is better than Tennessee. What I'm getting at, and Ole Miss has a good enough passing defense. I think they're 30th in total passing defense. Gunnar Stockton is not a good quarterback. I don't want to say I could see this game getting out of hand because it is in Georgia. Like I said, if Ole Miss is up on Georgia by at least 10 to 14 points going into halftime, I'm turning the game off. That's how confident I am in Ole Miss in the second half. And I could see it being bad in the first half, honestly. I could see it being sorry, almost dropped the big one. I could see it being 24-7, 24-3 going into halftime.
the way I feel about this Ole Miss team compared to last year, which, and I know not everything's a comparison, but Ole Miss is a less talented team than they were last year, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But they have more like urgency. It feels like they want to tackle better. They want to block better. It feels like they just play harder.
Yeah.
I think you see a similar effort as what we saw last year against Georgia, and I don't know if it's enough to win at Sanford Stadium, but I really like the Rebels in this game too. I like Trinidad. I feel like they slept walk into the game last week, and I don't feel like you see a similar sleepwalking thing. Um, I do think Georgia makes it a game. I think Georgia falls short again. I like Ole Miss. I like Ole, and I think right now if the Heisman betting odds like who I would take Trinidad Chambliss. Um, I mean everyone loves a story. D2, he was the backup. Guy got hurt. He wins the national championship in D2. Comes to Ole Miss. Austin Simmons is disappointing. Takes over. Now they're the number 4 team in the country. Everyone loves a story. I think Trinidad Chambliss right now is my odds-on favorite to win the Heisman. Um, if I had to bet. Let's talk about. Okay, I'll just talk about it real quick. Arkansas hosts Texas A&M. This is a game. Texas A&M is only favored 7.5. I got to be honest with you. If I bet on this game, I'm taking Texas A&M 7.5. Arkansas over and over and over and over again has showed you that they are talented enough to compete. Obviously, they didn't show you that in the Notre Dame game. Every other game, they've been right in it. Yeah, even last week on the road, at home, whatever. Um, but what Arkansas hasn't been able to do is hold on to the ball. It's expected to storm Saturday. Rain, whatever, be wet playing field. Texas A&M has one of the best third down defenses. Texas A&M has a very suffocating defensive line. Texas A&M might be the most complete front seven in the SEC. Uh, it would take a Superman game from Taylor Green to keep this game within 7.5 points. I don't see a world where Arkansas wins. I hate to say that because I hate Texas A&M probably more than I hate the Devil, but I just don't see a world where Arkansas wins this game personally.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't either. I hate to be like that. I don't know. I mean, it kind of is. I mean, we both know what it is with Arkansas. And for all the people that were like, "Oh, you can't blame fumbling on the coaches; it's the players." Well, do you still feel that way? Because if every player's fumbling the ball, I mean, maybe something should happen. I mean, you got to take initiative as a coach and understand that. Okay, maybe we need to start sending these guys through the chute holding the ball, or maybe we need to start practicing ball security. Because I mean, I was watching a thing on Ohio State. They still do things on ball security, and I can't tell you when's the last time an Ohio State player on the offensive side fumbled the ball. I can't. I mean, I can't. Besides somebody getting hurt and like grabbing for their knee, which is instinctual, but like just a regular play for the ball to get punched out, can't remember it. When's the last time a good team fumbled the ball like that every week, week in and week out, multiple times a game? You don't see it.
No. And apparently, I mean, Bobby Petrino said that they've been working on it. But I mean, how much work can you do? I figure they'd have been working on it since the Ole Miss game, and it's still an issue. So I don't see that getting fixed. I don't see Arkansas competing. I feel like Arkansas is going to lose. Let's move on to my stuff. Okay, I thought my computer froze there for a sec. Let's move on to Texas Tech going on to Arizona State. Just to be honest with you, I think Texas Tech keeps rolling. Texas Tech looks like one of the more. I mean, Texas Tech looks like what they paid for. They look like a very talented football team. Right now, Texas Tech favored by 7.5 on the road. I do think Arizona State keeps it close because Arizona State, I feel like what we've seen from Arizona State is they feel like they're the big dogs still in their conference, just the way they carry themselves. They did get beat like a drum last week, but I think a bounce back game at home, Texas Tech. I do think Texas Tech is going to win. I think we do see some fight from. Wait a second. I think Sam Leavitt's out for the game. I think I read that actually earlier, and if that's the case, then they don't stand any chance. Sorry, the way my brain works sometimes. He's probably. Oh, you can't see me?
No, I can see you. I can't see it on my iPad.
He's probable, so he's banged up. But I still think that Arizona State gives a great effort in this game. I just think Texas Tech's too talented.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech's the best team in that conference, and I don't even think it's really close. That's kind of what I said in the conference preview coming into the season, that I felt like Texas Tech was just going to be too talented. The problem with Texas Tech that I kind of wonder about is they struggle to throw the football.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know how they'll play if they ever get down, and I don't know if we'll ever see that until it comes to the playoffs. I think they beat Arizona State, and I really don't think it's close either.
Let's kind of get into the bigger games of the day and nighttime. We're gonna kind of run. Well, we're not gonna run through these. There's like 3 games we got to kind of talk about, but then we're gonna run through this other one. Tennessee at Alabama, 3rd Saturday in October. The Alabama Crimson Tide are favored by 8.5. What do you kind of think about that line, Justin?
I think here's the whole thing. If Alabama can keep Ty Simpson protected, I don't think Tennessee can really mess with Alabama, especially with their top 2 corners out. But if Alabama has blocking problems, I think it can be a long night for Ty Simpson. And I could see Alabama losing the game because of that. But I just think Alabama is too well coached. They look like a totally different team than they did in week 1. I think Alabama probably covers that spread.
I think so too. Tennessee's defense has a lot of holes. Like I know last week they got fired up because an Arkansas running back said that, and then that running back rushed for 131 yards. Like they do have a lot of holes. Jam Miller's back for Alabama. Ty Simpson looks like, to me, the most confident quarterback in the country as we're sitting here today. I think Alabama beats them by 14 points. And I think I just see Tennessee tapering off here a little bit. And I think it starts with this week. Let's let's kind of talk about the next one here. Another big rivalry. USC goes on the road to South Bend to play the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Right now, Notre Dame is favored at 9.5 points. USC coming off a huge win against Michigan, a game that I don't think I expected them to play as well as they did. Jordan Maiava looked great. Their defense made plays against Bryce Underwood. And to me, this is Notre Dame's last test. This is the last one until they get to the playoff. If they win, obviously. If they lose, they're done. I think I like USC in this game. I think USC is a very improved team. Their defense looked way better than they have in years past under Lincoln Riley. Jordan Maiava is really coming into his own, and I think I like the Trojans in this game. What do you kind of think?
Same thing. I really like USC. I think their offense is way too powerful for Notre Dame. I know it's in South Bend, and I get all that, but I think USC is kind of ramping up towards the right time of the season. I think they kind of came on against Michigan, and everybody kind of thought that was their, oh my gosh, USC is actually good. I think this is the game that shows people like, no, USC is really good. I think their defense is comparable enough. Yeah, this is a big statement game. I feel like their defense is comparable enough to be good enough for their offense. I mean, how good does your defense have to be as your offense can put up 35 to 45 points a game?
Not very. They don't have to be that good at all. Okay, and then we got another big one. This one is the game I thought should have been the game day game, but it's on Fox, so ESPN's not going to do that. Utah and BYU. The Utes travel on the road to Provo, Utah to participate in the Holy War. Right now, Utah's favorite at 3.5 points. I don't know anything about BYU, to be honest with you, this year. I know that they are undefeated. But looking at their schedule, they haven't done anything that's impressed me. They had a really close game with a Colorado team that has been up and down. They did beat West Virginia, who's been up and down. They had a really close game with Arizona. This is their first real test. It's a big game. It's a big rivalry. But I think I'm going to go with BYU. Their offense has been really good. LJ Martin's a great running back. Their defense always gives a lot of effort. They're not going to wow you really on offense. Like, they're not going to just – I mean, they're not really going to just, like, blow you away like an Oregon or an Indiana or whatever. But they're solid. They move the ball. They get first downs, and they make winning plays. I think that's why I'm going to go with the Cougars at home. What do you kind of think, Justin?
I like Utah. I think Utah kind of got – their skull drug against Texas Tech, and I don't think that they like it. I think that they're well enough held. I think they're coached well enough to understand it's like, hey, dude, if we want to win, we gotta. If we want to go to the playoffs, we got to show up. Mm-hmm. And I think that their defense is good. I think that their offense moves the ball well enough for their defense to, get breaks. Their offense does score, but they're not some prolific scoring offense. And I think that they're going to have BYU's number in this game, personally. I mean, I think that they're going to win. It's going to be a tough environment. It's a rivalry game. It's not like they're going to have to travel very far, so we don't have to talk about moving time zones and all that. But I do feel like Utah is going to kind of give BYU the work, if you want me to be honest. I think it's going to be a close game. But I feel like towards the end, Utah probably pulls away by a touchdown, maybe 10 points.
And then we got one more game to talk about before we wrap everything up and I go eat dinner. The Missouri Tigers have been a very interesting team to watch this year. So far, Bo Prabula has been really efficient. Their running game look great. Their defense looks, like very violent. But they go on the road. They go to Auburn. And this is an Auburn game or an Auburn team that's been disappointing so far, but not disappointing in a way that – they're just getting their skull drug every week. They're losing games by a touchdown or 10 points, or they're getting screwed by the refs. 3-3, they got to be they got to be disappointed. But here they go. They get a home game. Missouri's coming on coming to Jordan-Hare night game. I'm leaning Auburn in this game just because I think this is kind of a must-win for Auburn. I mean, if you don't win this game, Hugh Freeze is like on the brink, and Jackson Arnold's been up and down, but like they've been in every game. I think this is one they got to win. I think they do.
I agree. Hey, Mason, can I ask you a question real quick?
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to clap, how would you do that? Like, can you show me how you would do that if you were going to clap? Now, if you were going to call a timeout and you were a coach, how would you do that? Okay. Can you show me what Kirby Smart did last Saturday? Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make
it was like diagonal even kind of.
That's what I thought. I mean, I just kind of wanted to make sure I wasn't seeing things. I know we talked about it, but that's like 3 weeks in a row. Yeah, that's like 3 weeks in a row that Auburn's been cheated out of a game, and they've all been close games. It's not like Georgia blew them out. It's like, oh, who cares if he called a timeout and then didn't really call a timeout, but the refs gave him a timeout. Like, I'm with you. I think Auburn's a good enough team. They're going to give Missouri problems. And I feel like Alabama kind of took Missouri's soul away from them. I've got Auburn winning this game.
Well, and as much as I don't like Missouri, Missouri does pose a lot of problems for a lot of teams. You saw it last week. They were able to run the ball on Alabama. Bo Prabula, he threw a couple bad picks at the end of the game, but throughout the game, he looked very confident. I just think you're going into a hornet's nest, and you're going into a place that's, eager and hungry for a win. I do like the Auburn Tigers in this one. But that's all I got, guys. You got anything else, Justin?
That's it, man. Just understand that we're already in week 8. We have 6 weeks left. That's it of regular season college football. So just really appreciate it.
We have 6 weeks left of what really matters. Everything else, is fun, but this is the heart of college football. You got 6 weeks left.
Yeah, and that's it. There's no adding to it. There's no being like, dang, I wish we had one more game. Like, just appreciate it. There's games on tonight. Go watch them. There was a good game on Tuesday. A really good game. I can't remember who was it. Somebody came back from 10 points and won the game. Be sure to look for college football. Appreciate college football. I know you might not give 2 craps about the teams that are playing tomorrow night. Go watch it. Because I guarantee you, in the middle of July, when you're sweating your balls off and you're watching reruns of college football of your favorite team or highlights or spring practice or whatever, you're like,
dang, man, I really getting outed right here. Because I was definitely sending people pictures of me watching Arkansas old games in the middle of July.
Yeah, but like, go and watch Nebraska, Minnesota. You might not care about who wins that game, but guess what? It's college football, and you won't have it in 6 months. So just go appreciate it. That's all I can tell everybody. Like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We'll try to do better at posting. Me and Mason's got a lot going on. Other than that, that's all I got, Mason.